The new Mario Kart game has finally been revealed in the Nintendo Switch 2 teaser. Obviously, some predictions have to be made. In the teaser, we see a desert circuit course, 24-player races potentially being a thing, and a Yoshi's Burger shop. How delicious! Now, that is a Nitro course, and it's kinda hard to predict which Nitro courses we'll get, so I'm gonna stick to predicting retro courses instead. I'll be considering the 24-player races and whatever other gimmicks we might get in this game to justify my choices. Some of my choices will also be subjective because, well, not everything has to be completely objective, and that's okay. It's my prediction video at the end of the day. I made a video just like this over a year ago where I predicted retro courses we could get for the next Mario Kart far before it was revealed. I've definitely changed a lot of my choices since then and took a lot of feedback into consideration because y'all were pretty critical. And I resonate with feedback, so I made this prediction a lot better thanks to you guys. Of course, I'm still trying to find a good balance between games of origin, cups of origin, themes, and recency. I put a lot of thought into this. I'm gonna be going in order of the cups this time. We usually have shell, banana, leaf, and lightning cups for retros, but I think we're gonna have 7 cups for each nitros and retros, so I added new cup ideas in between each, and they will slowly be revealed throughout the video. Before we start, comment the retro course you want to see the most. Anyways, let us begin. Starting with the shell cup, we gotta start the retro course selection off with a bang. The very first map has to be a circuit course no matter what. There are several choices, but I settled with GBA Peach Circuit. It came back recently in Mario Kart Tour, and it looks flawless. Now, I'm not saying they should copy and paste from Mario Kart Tour. We don't want any more of that. However, they can take inspiration from this version for sure and build it in an even better way. GBA maps have been on fire lately, so I trust the developer's judgment regardless. Also, the remake kinda resembles Super Nintendo World in some aspects, so it truly makes it a great kickstart to retros. The second map I chose is DS Luigi's Mansion. Honestly, my first reason for this was literally just so we have a Luigi map in the game. It was also in the Mushroom Cup in Mario Kart DS, and it was the best map there, so honestly, I can't hate having this map in here. Next up, we have SNES Koopa Beach. 1 or 2, you ask? Both of them. The Booster Course Pass in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe introduced a gimmick where we can change the path of certain maps in every lap. I think it's a cool idea to take maps with multiple variants, such as the SNES maps, and combine them to make something even more grand. SNES Koopa Beach is pretty open in general, so combining both of them, maybe even making a new section for the third lap would surely bring an interesting dynamic. Also, I really want them to start treating SNES courses like they treat GBA courses now. I mean, we can't have these boring flat maps forever, let's be a little for real. Learn from SNES Bowser's Castle 3. And to end the first cup, what is a better choice than Wii Toad's Factory? Yeah, I actually excluded this map from my previous prediction, and boy did I get so much heat for that. I mean, I was personally thinking that it would be saved for a DLC, but later I realized that a base game should be a complete game on its own and not made with any future updates in mind. I don't even need to give a reason for having Toad's Factory here. It just really deserves to come back and thrive in Mario Kart Switch 2. Moving on to the second cup. I named this cup the Ice Cup because we already have Fire Flower cups, so an Ice Flower cup deserves to exist. I decided to start this cup with none other than N64 Frappe Snowland. This is honestly one of my subjective choices. I just really want to see this map back and in its full glory. It's honestly a much better choice than maps like DK Pass because that's just lame, and N64 Sherbet Land, Wii DK Summit, GCN Sherbet Land, etc. because those were recently in Mario Kart Wii and or 8 Deluxe. I want to bring in as many forgotten maps as possible so we don't see the same retros over and over and over again. Next up is DS Delfino Square. This just deserves to return. It's the only valid retro course to be set in the fall season. Also, there's a hidden path in this map which can actually set us up to have a reverse final lap, like we did with DS Peach Gardens. I really liked this gimmick personally, and there are so many places they can incorporate it to give us a new twist to some of the maps we grew up with. My next choice here is gonna alarm you guys. It is set far beyond the surface of the earth, it's super colorful with various paths to take. This map is none other than Tour Sky High Sunday. Y'all, hear me out. We are gonna have tour retros, whether you like it or not. Tour maps include the cities, which might return, and some of the new courses from the BCP. Not as many as the other video games, I'd say. Like, I only have one more tour course later in the video. This map was pretty early in the booster course pass, so it didn't get the best treatment in terms of quality. I think they can fix this map up and adjust the layout to make it much better than what it is. I honestly never really minded this map, but the backlash does make sense. Let's give this map a chance. To end off the Ice Cup, we have Shy Guy Bazaar. I just find it bizarre that after being scrapped from Mario Kart 8's base game, it didn't even show up in the booster course pass either, despite being in Mario Kart Tour. This map deserves its justice right here in a brand new cup in a brand new game. Moving on to the Banana Cup. Starting off strong, we have SNES Choco Island. Same idea as SNES Koopa Beach. We will be combining the existing variants together for a more full map. There is a scrapped Choco Island 3 from Mario Kart SNES that they can definitely incorporate, or even the RMX courses from Tour. I saw a video by this creator named Rod, I believe, and this just might be the best retro recreation I have ever seen. I really hope that Choco Island looks like this in Mario Kart Switch 2 if it actually does return. Next up, we have GCN Peach Beach. It's kind of a similar deal to Delfino Square in the sense that it's perfectly set up to go backwards on the final lap in this little section right here. And it's just a really elegant map, so I wouldn't mind it returning. GBA Lakeside Park. It is yet another GBA course waiting for a huge overhaul like some of the other recent GBA maps. It got a really good remake in Mario Kart Tour, so I'd want them to base it off of that. Heck, it even has the sunset gimmick that Sunset Wilds is now missing. Sorry. To end off the Banana Cup, we have our second and last tour map, Ninja Hideaway. Yeah, it's not a city. I don't think any cities are returning since they were literally the main focus of Mario Kart for the last half decade or so, and I just don't want them back. Ninja Hideaway is an actual good map that was overshadowed because of it being in Wave 1, the Trash Wave. It has so much more potential than that, so give it a full-blown remake and return it in Mario Kart Switch 2. I mean, that map is hella dynamic for a tour track, so yeah. Moving on to the fourth cup, which I call the Ribbon Cup. You know, because we have Egg Cup in the Nitro selection and Egg equals Yoshi, Ribbon equals Birdo, you get it. The first map is N64 Wario Stadium. I chose this solely because it's the only N64 map to have never been remade in any game, not even Tour, and that's embarrassing. It's also unique in the sense that there aren't many dirt-themed maps that are legible to return, so why not have this course? Next up is GBA Cheep Cheep Island. This map is from the only Nitro Lightning Cup in all of Mario Kart, and it's the only map from that to have never returned to a console game. This map is also just very beautiful and deserves to return. It's gonna be stunning, of course, because that's just the beautiful fate of GBA remakes now. This next choice is a bit weird, but bear with me. 3DS Bowser's Castle. I'm sorry, but I don't think this Bowser's Castle map is ever gonna be capable of sitting in the Lightning Cup. It just deviates a lot from the other Bowser's Castle maps in a bad way. Either way, I'm just bringing this map back here because this cup is sort of the half point of the retros, so we gotta have something a little special here. Because of that, we also have to have a great map to end the cup off. I chose Wii U Sweet Sweet Canyon. Yeah, Mario Kart 8 maps are gonna return. There isn't really a way to improve them, but they can definitely change the theming around and add new sections. Whatever deviates it from the original is perfect. I'm thinking they should make Sweet Sweet Canyon holiday themed like Merry Mountain is, like a texture swap. That would be super beautiful. Modders, if you're watching this, I just gave you a new idea. You're welcome. Let's move on to the Leaf Cup. Starting off strong with Wii U Sunshine Airport. This is the most simple track from Mario Kart 8, which is why I chose it. Due to its simplicity, they have so much room to add as much as they want to make this map feel fuller. Heck, there's a whole open sky that they can work with and make a new section of. A Sunshine Airport remake has so much potential and I genuinely want to see it happen. Next up, 3DS Wario Shipyard. This is a completely subjective choice because why wouldn't I want this map back? I don't have much to say besides that it's literally amazing in every single aspect. It's super dynamic and it's very unique. Next up, we have SNES Vanilla Lake 2. This is the only SNES map here that I don't want with combinant variants because I can't really picture it working in my head for a map like Vanilla Lake. I chose Vanilla Lake 2 because it's one of those shorter maps with several laps, much like GCN Baby Park. See, we're gonna have 24 player races in this game, So bringing in Vanilla Lake 2 would add such a chaotic dynamic with all of those laps. People do want Baby Park to return for this reason, but we just had it in 8 Deluxe, so that's super lame. Vanilla Lake 2 is basically Baby Park, but with ice physics, so it's even more chaotic. To end off the Leaf Cup, we have GCN Mushroom City. I was surprised that neither this nor Mushroom Bridge returned in the BCP, with City never having been remade at all. I knew that one of these had to come over to MK Switch 2, and I picked City because I feel like Bridge would be pretty redundant at this point. We don't really have city-themed maps to race in anyway, so why not? The music rendition would absolutely slap, by the way. Next, we have the Bell Cup. Yeah, this isn't exactly a new cup, but it was in Mario Kart 8's retro selection, so why not? We are starting off strong with 3DS Woohoo Loop. Don't ask me why I didn't pick Maka Woohoo yet. We don't need every fan favorite course back. It's as simple as that. Woohoo Loop just feels more likely to me anyway. It's honestly not as inferior to its counterpart like people say it is. N64 Banshee Boardwalk. If I want a scary map, Luigi's Mansion isn't gonna cut it. The pitch black setting in N64 Banshee Boardwalk makes it very intimidating, alongside the sudden and sharp turns. To make it even scarier, we could have underwater sections similar to what they did with GBA Boo Lake. This is more of a subjective choice, but I really do want to see this map back and scarier than ever. Next up, we have a map that is bound to return, and that is DS Airship Fortress. Can y'all tell me how we got DS Mario Circuit and Shroom Ridge over this masterpiece in the Booster Course Pass? That was just super unfair. I would say that this is a map that we all collectively want to see return, so we have to have this here no matter what. It's also a way for us to have a fire-themed map that isn't Bowser's Castle. Say what you want, but the remake in Tour with the Lava Ocean is actually really beautiful, and I like it way more than DS and 3DS's versions. So I'd honestly hope that they base it off of that with some additions, of course. Another way to alter the theme is to make it look like Camella's airship attack from Super Mario Galaxy. Modders, hi. Anyways, the final map of the Bell Cup is GCN Wario Coliseum. Okay, this is also a really subjective choice, but give me one valid reason why it shouldn't come back. It is one of the most dynamic courses to ever exist. It looks insanely fun. Coliseum has also never returned from Double Dash, so give it a chance. I would hope that they bump it up to 3 laps instead of 2 if they do return it. Funny enough, I am just now realizing that I've given Wario a lot of love in the retro selection. We love to see it. Moving on to the Lightning Cup. The Lightning Cup is the final retro cup and the final cup in the game. It contains the most important retro courses here, the ones that are most challenging, iconic, and of course, our actual good Bowser's Castle retro, and ending it off with Rainbow Road. We are starting extremely strong with the first map of the Lightning Cup. I chose Wii U Dragon Driftway. It has always been the most challenging course in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in my opinion. Crazy turns everywhere, and don't forget the shortcuts. This map is nearly impossible on 200cc. I have an interesting idea to change this map up. As we know, Dragon Driftway is inspired by the Gobblegut boss from Super Mario Galaxy 2. Well, did you know that there is a fire version of this exact boss later in the game? It is actually considered the hardest boss across both Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which could symbolize the difficulty of this race course. So Dragon Driftway in Mario Kart Switch 2 should be fully fire themed based off of Fiery Gobblegut. It would be more challenging than ever. My next map choice is definitely going to seem pretty weak compared to what I just said, but it's still a great fan favorite. The second map of the Lightning Cup will be Wii Dry Ruins. This is a huge fan favorite course, as is any other Wii map. However, this was the only Wii course in Mario Kart Tour to not return to the Booster Course Pass, which feels very disrespectful considering Daisy Circuit made it in. This is also just a really amazing map in general, and it definitely deserves to be here. Bowser's Castle time. This is pretty important. I picked a variant that has never been remade. GCN Bowser's Castle. Yes, another GCN map that's never been remade before. This map is huge and there's so much going on here. It's also the oldest Bowser's Castle map to have not been remade, counting all GBA versions as one, so I feel like it should be the Bowser's Castle choice no matter what. And finally, the most iconic course of them all, Rainbow Road. This isn't just the last course of the Lightning Cup, it's the last course of the retro selection, the last course of Mario Kart Switch 2, the last course we will ever race on until the next game, which is way out of our realm as of now. This final impression is going to be a lasting impression, so I was really careful with this choice. I decided to go with GBA Rainbow Road. Okay, hear me out. I know this seems lame because it's on the simpler side, but it's the oldest Rainbow Road to have not been remade yet. I mean, it seems like we're going in a chronological pattern starting from Mario Kart 7. I've always been praising these GBA maps this whole video. We have to really just trust the developer's judgment on this one to not only give this map a massive overhaul, but a massive overhaul that will maintain a great lasting impression. So yeah, this right here is the entire retro section I set up. I'm very happy with all of this. What do you guys think? My brain is pretty fried from editing this super long video, so no outro. Bye!